Hello, my loves, and welcome back to BehatiLife YouTube channel. If you're meeting for the first time, welcome. And for those of you that are old friends and family, welcome back. As you guys can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be diving into the energy that we need to hear right now in this moment for the week ahead. Now, I'm going to be live shuffling in the back, but I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about the fact that Neptune, the planet of illusion and spirituality and deception and higher consciousness, has officially moved out of Pisces, the sign that it ruled, and into Aries. What I love about this energy, and I talked about this more aggressively in the Behati Love Notes group, I'll send the links down below, but what I love about this energy is that for so many of you guys that are focused on spirituality and have been feeling a strong calling to a higher purpose and more evolved relationships, not just intimate relationships, meaning like romantic relationships of all kind, including your friendships, you're finally going to receive a breakthrough in those areas. It's going to be less cloudy, less foggy for so many of you guys. I know because I've been shuffling and pulling cards for you for years, honey. Years we've been in each other's lives here on the YouTube platform, but also for many of you guys, I've shuffled and pulled cards for you. I've pulled your charts. We've worked one-on-one. I hear the tug of war that it is that you were experiencing within yourself the last few years when you're trying to figure out who you are, what your purpose is, what your path is. Neptune transiting through Pisces is wonderful because that's its home sign. Like, you can sense that there is something afoot within you. You can sense that there's I don't say a transformation, but an awakening within you. However, to be able to find that path and to walk that path becomes almost impossible because you have to essentially blind yourself and lean aggressively into your intuition, take leaps of faith, and also continue to show up in spaces where you may not be acknowledged, where you may not be rewarded, and it's more you giving of yourself without seeing the initial benefit of who is receiving it and why you were called to show up for that person to begin with. Think about how throughout history, when someone needs something, they pray, they set intention, they call out to the universe, and then they cross paths with another human being that feels called to speak to that individual, to give them a message, to deliver a message, to provide clarity. That person on the receiving end is like, wow, I asked for a sign and this is it. And the person who delivers the message doesn't know why they feel called to reach out and talk to someone or tell them something or do energy work on that person or whatever the case is, but they honor that call. However, when they walk away, sometimes they don't fully understand the difference that they made in that person's life. And with Neptune transiting through Pisces, you can sense, you can tell that there's something powerful that's happening here, that it was happening, but you don't necessarily see the impact and you don't necessarily see the path forward. You just are kind of like an angel that shows up and helps people through breakthroughs, especially in relationships. You may have noticed that you are someone that in your romantic relationships and dating life, you are provided a lot of lessons, but it's not, it's like you give more to others than you get back. And I know that for so many of you guys, you're not thinking like, okay, I want to receive in this relationship. Like you're very selfless. But sometimes that gets exhausting, and there's a reason why the selfless people end up giving so generously so much of themselves and helping others to evolve when Neptune is transiting through Pisces, because it's the reflection of the collective shift that people of lower vibrations tend to call in, attract, magnetize, or you can feel and sense that this person needs additional healing, and you show up in that space and give of yourself very selflessly, almost like a martyr. So that's something that you were experiencing, and it's beautiful, especially as healers and intuitives and gifted individuals. But it can really exhaust someone and drain them of their faith and drain them of themselves, especially if you don't have boundaries. That's the other thing too. When Pisces was transiting through Neptune, there was a hyper focus on the energy of boundaries, making sure that you are not overgiving so much of yourself that you lost yourself in relationships, in your work, in the identity that the world wants to give to you, or what's going on in the world. Okay, at the very bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Swords reversed, and this is the breaking free from anxiety, from internal anguish, from chaos, mental chaos, right? Dysfunction. Many of you guys, Neptune transiting through Pisces has led you into the arms of incredible therapists and incredible healers, and also to be the healer and the therapist yourself, maybe showing up bold face and offering your gifts to energy work, again, to help the collective consciousness. Now that Neptune is transiting through Aries, again, I really strongly feel like you're going to start to see the path a little bit more clearer. It's going to be a bit more defined, but it's also going to require you to be more bold, more courageous in taking those steps forward on your own, which is good, because at least you know where you are being led, you know what the next steps are. But it's difficult oftentimes because you may need to be fearless, you may need to be courageous, you may need to assert yourself, especially from what you've learned in the past. My daughter's with her dad right now, so you may hear her kind of whining in the background. Not whining, but expressing herself. All right. It's interesting too, because the Emperor reverse is showing up first here. Well, maybe not first, but second. And it's such a masculine energy and such a masculine sign, Aries. So we've been talking a lot about masculinity, masculine energy, and toxic masculinity. I believe that the masculine energy has been undergoing a huge shift as far as what is its role, what is its value, how does it navigate in today's times, in today's world. So it's interesting that the Emperor is showing up reversed here for this week, and the Seven of Cups upright. So I feel like for masculine energy, whether masculine energy within you or someone else that you've been dealing with who expresses more masculine traits than anything else, they may be trying to find themselves. I think too, they're trying to figure out how they can help, or how they can offer themselves. They may not have a plan here with the Emperor. You might be dealing with yourself or someone else not having a plan. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I shifted into talking about the energy of this week or this moment. I started realizing that these readings are more timeless than anything. The masculine energy within you is the part of you that's like, okay, this is what I'm working on. This is what I want to achieve. This is how I want to protect myself. This is what I want to conquer. This is what I want to take over. This is my strategy. However, it's reversed, and Seven of Cups is confused. So this is another time where I've been talking about this almost like a broken record, where we need to give ourselves a whole lot of flexibility and grace. Mercury is retrograde. Venus is retrograde. Neptune just moved into the sign of Aries. We are still finding our footing. You may not necessarily, again, know what the future holds. They may be making you nervous, especially the fact that the Nine of Swords card was the first card to jump out. There's a need to kind of know and plan for what is going to happen next. But right now, it almost seems like in this moment in time, you're kind of going to have to trust yourself and courageously, boldly allow for spontaneous decision making. Let's go ahead and look at the other cards. Wow, 10 of Cups reversed, 6 of Cups. Oh my goodness. Wow, Queen of Cups. Yeah, I was gonna ask out loud, how does intuition play into today's energy or this week's energy? Because I really do feel like it's strongly here. It's also interesting because these are the same cards, not all of them, But Six of Cups and Ten of Cups were the same cards that showed up for Behati Love Notes, and I shuffle for them regularly to tap into the energy. It's interesting that it's showing up for the collective as well, so there is a mirroring that's happening here. With the Ten of Cups reversed, this is showing sometimes like a loss of happiness or a loss of joy, but I don't see this as that. I see this as discontentment, and I don't see this as a bad thing. You know, when sometimes you feel like you're like, ugh, I want to do more. Or if you're on vacation and you've been having the best time of your life, but then you're just like, I love it here, but it's time to go home. There's something, especially with the Six of Cups here, there's something here about, yeah, I'm happy, but like, like I feel something else. I feel called to something else. What is that thing? What is this energy? What is this presence? And I feel like this is where Spirit is kind of telling you this week in this moment, it's time to kind of throw out the logic, the rationale, the reasoning, and begin to open yourself intuitively and ask yourself, Spirit, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what are you trying to say? I am so grateful. I am so honored. I'm so blessed. But there's something more here that I feel that you want for me. What is that? Take my hand and lead me into that space so that I can reconvene, so that I can rediscover, so that I can redefine, so that I can re-find what is the path, the purpose here today. Let's go ahead and shuffle on relationships really quickly, because I feel like with the Queen of Cups, there's always someone close by with her. I was saying this to those subscribed to Behati Love Notes. This has a lot to do with marriage and traditional relationships. I was just saying to those that were subscribed to Behati Love Notes how, the cards were like, they're like I'm second guessing them a lot. Not like in a bad way, but just like I'm very, very selective. I always am selective, but it's, if a card jumps out, I'm like, I don't know. Put it back in and then shuffle again. And I was telling them that for the energy collectively feels like you are not accepting of just anything anymore. Like you want, I don't say the best, but you aren't accepting just anything. If something falls out, you put it back in and you're like, okay, no, but prove it to me, show it to me. There's something here that's like, I'll believe it, not when I see it, but when I feel it, when it feels right, especially with the Queen of Cups. The Hierophant is so interesting because I do believe that someone here is going to find themselves back into places of ritual, like really prioritizing their ritual, really hearing the call for a religious or spiritual path. What is that pathway? Where is it leading you to? For someone here with the Six of Cups reversed, this is a spiritual path that's leading you back into yourself. For someone here, you might have been on the witchcraft journey and you're going back to Christianity. For someone here, you were a Christian and now you feel yourself called back to nature. The nature religion. There is no right or wrong. It's what feels right. There's something here that once was serving you, that once maybe checked a few boxes, but not all of them, and you finally got what you needed to get out of it. And now it's time for you to find the place that you belong. Again, you're coming home to yourself. This is where I feel like strategy and logic kind of goes out the window, because it's more about how something feels, not what logically makes sense. Sometimes when you put it all onto paper, you'll be like, well, considering my background and considering the environment that I live in now and considering the condition of the world, it would make sense for me to do A. But truthfully, when I sit with myself, I am more called to B, C, D, E, and F. See, notice how you don't have to choose just one. Their Spirit is leading you to be able to choose multiple. This is going to be your new normal. I also feel like from the base level, this foundational level of what reflects your morals and your core beliefs, it's going to branch out naturally as it does into your relationships, your job. It's going to help to define those things. This is why I think it's more important for you to be open and receptive, Queen of Cups, to what feels right, what you're intuitively sensing now, especially in this new path as Neptune enters into the sign of Aries. Any other messages that we need to hear? Ace of Cups, King of Swords reversed. Oh, this one definitely. Knight of Swords reversed, yeah. I'm hearing enough is enough, but not in a bad way. I feel like this is spirit. I'm actually getting the image of someone who is like a little child that has like crayons and they're playing with the crayons. They had free time to create, and I feel like bigger hands come over and take their hands off of the crayons and say, okay, enough is enough. It's time for us to take a bath. And that bath time is kind of winding down into something more spiritually aligned, more soothing, more comforting, or it's to prepare you for tomorrow, which is the burst of something brand new, Ace of Wands. Essentially, what is it I'm sensing here is that the projects, the things that were once activating your mind, that had your brain kind of figuring out that you were focused on, you're being pulled gently away from those and being called into something new, of a different purpose, a new fresh path. Everyone is just going to be different, but I do want to show you that the Chariot card is here. That's the next card. It's at the very bottom of the deck. The Chariot card represents movement forward, especially after learning so much about yourself, especially when you were working so much with boundaries and difficulties and challenges. Now you're bringing that transformation to the light, to what you've learned about yourself. A lot of you guys are no longer the same person. I can say that 1000%. I can say that without any hesitation. I am not the same person that I once was. My happiness is found in different places. My day-to-day routine has shifted greatly. There is parts of me that I recognize from the past, Six of Cups, but for the most part, I am 1000% the Queen of Cups, when normally, you guys know, I've always been the Queen of Swords, reverse sometimes too. So really, really interesting. There's a new tradition here that is already been initiated into your life, and you are moving things forward, being led by spirit. And I think that's the best place to be. It's a powerful place to be because you are so guided. I do want to shuffle from the Mom Tarot, the Mom deck, from the Pine Torch. They're on Etsy. At least that's where I bought this deck from a little while ago. The reason why I want to shuffle from this is because I have a pick a card reading that's going to be uploading this week. It's honoring the moms, whether you are a mom or a parent of puppies, kitties, fur babies, or actual humans. So keep your eyes on the lookout for that, and also make sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and you have your notifications on, okay? So first, oh my goodness, the first card to jump out is the Passy. I love this card because it reminds me of comfort and nourishment, but temporary. I think it's so interesting because in one of the other readings that I did, I don't remember what reading it was, but with the Passy, I saw it as something that's temporary. Today, as I'm shuffling for you guys, I don't see a temporary solution. I see long-term support. I see honoring what works for you and finding what works for you, and unapologetically allowing yourself to receive that. This is not just physical things, but energetic things, things that are felt and not often seen. But it's important that you feel it and that you give yourself that. So this could be yoga is something that comforts your soul. This could be waking up early to enjoy a cup of chamomile tea. This could be ending your day taking care of your lavender plants or watering the grass. This could be going for a walk. What is the pacifier for you? Not something to temporarily plug into your mouth and make you shut up, which I don't even like the fact that I use that metaphor, but that's seriously not the vibe. It's something that you can count on, that you can carry, that can support you in this new season. And really sit with yourself, Queen of Cups. The Passy fell on the Queen of Cups for a reason. Really sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you need now that supports this side of you that is officially awakening for good. Next card we have is the shower cry. Oh, I love this. Really love this card because I'm someone who is very, very emotional. I pick up on a lot of things that I don't necessarily, that aren't mine all the time, but are undeniably in the energy. And a good shower cry is me oftentimes releasing, especially when I was younger and I was having a hard time with boundaries with the energy work that I was doing and not even realizing that I was doing it so often. I would go in the shower was my time to just let it all out. And how much of a relief it felt, not only for me, but I felt like when I would cry, I felt like I was crying for the world too. I remember my mom took me on this art project thing. It was kind of reminding me of the Queen of Cups, this art project thing, this class that we went to. And it wasn't origami, it was like a book that you could pull out. And it would just kind of like an accordion, it would pull out and you could design it however you wanted to. And on the cover, I wrote, "I feel it all. I feel it all." And I put the globe, and I had to have been like 15 or 13 or something. I was a little one, a young adult, very young adult. And for me to write that says a lot. Maybe I was younger. I don't think I was 9. I think I might have been like 10, 11, 12. Anyway, for someone here, the point is like, you may be feeling it all. Yours, others, the globe, or it's just to honor the Queen of Cups and the Chariot, the journey and allowing yourself to release, to relinquish, to let go. And that's an important part of the feminine, not the masculine, the feminine. She needs time to release. She needs time to release because she does feel it all. The Ring of Fire, Jesus. I forgot about how this tarot deck is. The Ring of Fire, if you don't know, is the moment when you're giving birth and the baby is about to pass through, and it literally feels like your body is on fire. That's what they say. And this is the moment where the woman who is giving birth tends to call out and says, "I can't do it, I can't do it." When she starts saying that, she is at the point where it's towards the very end of delivering, usually. Right when someone is saying, "I can't do it, I can't do it," that's when the breakthrough happens. So I feel like for many of you guys, you may be experiencing that moment where you're just like, "I can't do this. I can't do this. This is not authentic to me. This does not serve me. This relationship cannot go any further. This way that I'm operating in my career or this path that I chose, I cannot continue to do this any longer." And the fact that you're saying that means that there's a breakthrough that's coming through. This shower cry in the Ring of Fire is the emotional release. And once you have that release, that's when you're going to have the breakthrough. Once you have the breakthrough, let's create, not the plan, but the way to honor this new version of you that you just gave birth to. All right, let me go ahead and see what cards. If the universe could say anything to you right now, what would it say? Or a spirit guide, what would be the message? Boop. First card is "See me in their eyes." Interesting. I'm seeing this for someone sit with this and really see what you come up with. But for me, I see this as seeing yourself through your lens, seeing yourself through the lens that accurately reflects who you are today and honors all of your feelings and all of your needs and doesn't push away or stifle any aspect of yourself. You are in full bloom, unapologetically full blooming. The next card, you might not know now, but you will. And that is the truth. I definitely feel that resonates, especially with the Queen of Cups. As soon as you're receptive and open, you will discover what needs to happen next. It will feel authentically aligned. It will feel nourishing. It will feel like you've been provided for. It will feel undeniable. And if you didn't know to ask for that, to set intention for it, it's not too late. At the time of me recording this, we just had the solar eclipse in Aries, and then Neptune moved into the sign of Aries. If you don't know, you will know, okay? Those you love, love you. I love this because it does feel like an emphasis on the support. I just heard something in my spirit. I heard, okay, for someone here, it's the wombat. That's so specific. Like a wombat creature. A capybara. Can you guys look up the animal totems of those two? It's actually a capybara. I thought it was a wombat, but it's a capybara. Look at this symbolism. Speaking of animal totems, let me go ahead and shuffle on this, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. Before I finish, I do want to say that I shuffle and pull for the collective regularly through Behati Love Notes. It's my membership where I just pour into them every other day. And I write them horoscopes so that they know what to expect and what the energy is, so that they're not shocked and surprised, especially now with the transits. They're currently shifting a lot, and it can be very confusing if you're trying to navigate those waters. Moth spirit, surrender now. Really, it's time to surrender now. Open up, receive. Bobcat, life is a mystery. Especially my divine feminines. A lot of you guys are not meant to be understood or have a title or be in a box or anything like that. Bat spirit, a rebirth is assured. That's so funny because that's literally what it is I'm seeing and sensing now. Also, I love the blood red of these cards. I feel like it's so primal. It's like drumming, drumming, drumming. It's awakening you. It's calling you up and out. Again, you are blooming and blossoming. So thank you guys so much for being here and allowing me to shuffle and connect and channel your energy. Dark feminine intention oils are currently going out in the apothecary. I'm actually dropping off those oils today, as well as the sacred anointing ritual boxes. For those of you guys that don't know, I don't want to say it's a secret because it's not a secret, but it's a once in a blue moon, once a month window that opens up, and I create a lunar oil that honors the energy of the astrological transits for the month ahead. I'm sorry. It's very unique. It's once in a lifetime, no repeats. Very, very special. There's also the membership so that you can have full access to it, because once it's at full capacity, which I'm not sharing that number, but when it's at full capacity, I'm not opening up. Remember, mom life is real, and she's my number one priority. So this is my way of being able to honor those lunar oils that I'm so known for, and also give you guys those very unique, customized, magical ritual experiences. The question that I've been getting a lot lately is, how do you use these oils? You use them for candles, like candle magic. You use them to anoint objects. You can use them on your journal. You can use it on your body. That's how, but I would use it for candles. You can get any candle, even like one of these, and just use the oil in order to work your magic once a month. That's something that I do to honor myself and my journey, and it's an offering for you guys. Again, every one of them is created by hand and wrapped and packed by me after I pull the charts and I get the energies going. I also include instructions for how to use them and why I chose what I chose. Okay. I actually, as I was packing this first batch, because this is my first time introducing it, I realized that I wanted to create more instructions for why I chose the herbs for each oil. So I'm going to do that in the second batch. They go out, they arrive to those who are subscribed to them or those who order them, but at the start of the week. And tomorrow is April. They're going out today. So they will be on time. Everyone else, thank you guys so much for allowing me to shuffle and pull for you guys. I love you so much. This is such an honor. This is such a blessing. Thank you for allowing me to work my magic and channel. Do you hear them laughing? Like father-daughter moments, right? How sweet and how precious. That's so cute. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.